Is it doing good?
Excellent.
It's being recorded. Oh.
Oh,
So
boy.
be careful, guys, what you say.
My face isn't on the screen.
We recognize your voice.
Alright, sorry for my lateness. I had to eat something. Super hungry. So yeah, super hungry. I don't know if it's the weather, but I've been getting more hungry than ever. All right. Yeah. And I've been working out. I guess you get more hungry when you burn calories. Yeah.
I remember that, but it's been a while.
All right. So last time that we did class, we went over like a whole transaction on the buyer side. We went through the whole transaction on the buyer side, and it was pretty cool because what we did was that we actually like went in customs, like what everybody wants to talk, and like I can go deep into like how we get that done. So I don't know if you remember, I said everybody just bring your own question, or if it's on lead generation, what is it that you want to look into? And I have something for you with Vulcan. You bought it?
I didn't do Vulcan. I'm still using
Mojo right now.
Mojo?
Right.
All right, so well, me and him are talking about Vulcan and Mojo. They're dialers and services that will give you information of certain sellers for you to reach out, but it's specifically for sellers. I'm guessing, why don't they make something for like buyers? It's difficult to hit with a buyer, right? But they should have something like that for buyers. You can cold call people and motivate like tenants, renters.
Right.
Like today, I was renting one of my units, and the guy that applied in the first floor, I told him, I'm not gonna rent to you, I'm gonna sell a house to you. Because the guy's making $10,000 a month, 800 credit, has like about $50,000 in savings, and I asked him, why do you want this $2,500 unit? He wants the first floor and on Ames. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna rent to you. Let's sell you a house, and now he's getting pre-approved. So,
Can you do that?
say it again?
Can you say that to somebody?
I can say whatever I want to say.
You don't wanna, I don't wanna rent.
No. I didn't say I don't want to rent to you. I told him it's in your best interest to buy.
Okay.
Instead of, I'd rather, because he makes money, that is a secure paycheck I'm gonna be getting every month. Like I really like him as a tenant. But he is I will not feel comfortable with myself knowing that I was selfish enough to take him as a tenant because I know he makes money, instead of putting him in the right track of owning a property.
Did he, not to change the subject, did he give you a reason why he prefers to rent?
No, yeah, he just never thought about it.
Okay.
You know, there's a bunch of people that are ready to buy, and they don't buy.
Okay.
They just need that extra motivation. Oh, we got heavy hitters here. Yeah, no, the back of the bus is turned up. So you guys brought anything that you wanted me to go over when it comes to lead generation that you would like for me to cover?
How effective are cold calls nowadays?
As effective as you are.
Okay.
Because the thing is, cold calling,
Because I never pick up the phone.
well, maybe it doesn't work for you. That's where there's other lead generation methods. I bet you open your mail. You have to open your mail. You can't
Yeah.
tell me you don't open your mail. Like, that's something you can't say.
Usually I do.
You do. Like there's like something that I saw on mailers. I don't know if you guys use mailers here. So I was looking, I've been doing mailers. I was doing it through Command. So through Command, you can select an area. And it's very specific how Command does this. It's an amazing tool that you can send to everybody. But when you send it, it just sends a postcard. So actually, once you pick it up, you get to see what it is. And right away, you're going to the trash. So I was digging a lot on the psychology, on a lot of the lead generation. And something very interesting when it comes to mailers is that there's a lot of people that they put it in envelopes, and they put it in colored envelopes. And it feels like you do that, right?
Yeah.
And if I see a color envelope,
Stick with them.
I'm going to a baby shower. I'm going to a wedding. There's some place I'm getting invited. So I'm excited to open it. And then, it's me here with my face. Hey, free CMA. But that one works a lot. So I went and I tried it. I was like, all right, let me switch. Let me go with an envelope. I ended up finding a company that Jen Hamilton uses that I'll be more than happy to ship. Very cheap. I sent 1,000 for $1,200. And that is including the printing, the cutting, the envelope, and the shipping, which is a lot, So I sent 1,000 out there into my city, Lawrence, South Lawrence, where I know a lot of people know. And we got 2 deals. And one of them deals is 44 Gilbert, which we have on the market. The lady needs to sell that property, another property, and buy. So that's 3 deals over there. One of my agents is the one selling the property. So we're doing it in-house, right? It went on the market for 2 weeks. And then one of us ended up finding a buyer. And we put it on the contract. Now we're selling them another house. That's 3 deals on the first one that I found. Then the second one, it was a sell and a purchase. So we're talking about 5 deals on an average of like $12,000. Like we can call it roughly or let's call it 10 to use a, and that's $50,000. And I spent $2,000 and I spent $1,000 and $200 sending it out. So if I ask you for $1,200 and I give you $50,000, will you give me the 12? Now, how effective it is? The thing is that I send it to a specific area because the thing was normally people just send it. You need to be purposeful when you do stuff. Like I even put it in my Facebook yesterday. I would be purposeful, go home, because if you're gonna send that, you want to make sure that you pick the people. For example, I know that I'm big on multifamilies, and a lot of our buyers are multifamilies, so I want to dip for multifamily. So I pick multifamily. After I pick multifamilies, then I pick who has a lot of equity, meaning who bought that property 5 to 10 years ago and back. And that's the people that we send it out to. So we were very specific. Even when I cold call, like when I was cold calling Circle Prospecting, I did the same thing for Circle Prospecting. I would download, like I did it with Lawrence. I downloaded Lawrence. Lawrence has 15,000 properties. Ask me because I know 5,000 of them are multifamilies, right? I know it by a fact. The city owns 274 of those properties. So I know it by a fact. So I divided it, single families, 2 families, 3 families, and 4 families, right? And then condos. So I stick to residential. I downloaded all that from public records. And there's companies like Vulcan 7 does it. You can send them all that list, and they will skip tracing, meaning finding the phone numbers and emails of those people and load it for you to give them a call. There's other companies that are really good. There's a bunch of companies that they do that. Accurate, DataSap, there's Cold Realty, Cold Leads. There's a lot of companies that they do that. DataSap is one that I've seen that has the best numbers. Like accuracy on the numbers that you get back, DataSap. And I learned the hard way because I gave my money to a lot of people. And they DataSap with a Z. Zap, right? DataSap. For example, Vulcan charges you 50 cents per hit. If you send them 400 people and they only get 300, they're just gonna charge you 50 cents. Right? They're gonna charge you $150 for that skip tracing. DataSap more accurate, they're like 35 cents or 20 cents, something like very, very cheap. And they're the cheapest out there and the most accurate when it comes to the numbers. And we like started tracking that like very closely. So answer your question, I had to go really deep. If you're purposeful who you're gonna reach out and you have a really good script, there's people that don't cold call and they do a bunch of other stuff. But if you're planning into cold calling, you need to cold call every day, 8 to 11. Not at 8:50, not at 8:30, at 8, because you want to catch people driving to work. Some people get to work at 8:30. That's it. You lost your window, and you want to catch people in the morning. If you catch people in the afternoon, for example, let me ask somebody here. You, Mister, after you've gone through the whole day of problems and putting out fires, at 5:30, I come and I'm trying to give you a pitch about whatever the heck I'm selling. You're not buying. is you dealt with everybody's stress. You went to work, road rage, you left your wallet, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do that. At the end of the day, you're stressed out and your mood is difficult. This is, I started digging the studies and they did the study in courts. People get higher sentence if you're in the afternoon. That judge probably haven't had his lunch or his coffee or his cigarette, right? When you come in, and he's looking at you, he doesn't want to take the time to let you talk. He's gonna sentence. Now in the morning, that dude kissed his wife before leaving home, hugged his kids, ate, drank his coffee, and he sits down in that chair. You're the first person, right? Just hope nobody give him any type of problem in the way. But in the morning, you have a better rate of getting a lower sentence, or even getting a slap in the hand. And in the afternoon, people get hammered. So when we lead gen, that's why we always talk about lead generation in the morning. And that is the psychology behind it. And it's because people are happier in the morning. Door knocking, this kid is an animal. We went out door knocking, like, he just got his license. He doesn't even know how to put an offer, but he's here. I saw your house, I don't know how, but I'm selling, all right? And I've had I've helped him with a few conversations. Let's say in the morning, probably people answer the door faster, be in a better mood to invite you in, probably having their coffee, probably they're happy. So lead gen in the morning is essential. Do you have any questions?
I got one. You said about calling at 8 o'clock, and I understand the reasoning for that. I've noticed that my cold calls, the ones I get, they don't stop until after 9 o'clock. Is there something magic about 9 o'clock?
No, they just suck.
Okay.
They're not calling at the right time. They're
Okay.
late.
Well, I wouldn't answer it if they called me at 8:30 either, but I noticed
Yeah.
that if my landline rings before 9, it's probably someone I want to talk to, and I'll look at it. After 9,
There you go. So whoever calls you at 8, they might catch you.
right,
And if you're having your coffee, you might be grumpy.
I am.
No, I'm
teasing.
confirming.
I'm teasing.
I'm confirming. You might be grumpy, but it takes the right person. Girls, the voice of a woman is more soothing than a guy. So guys, we gotta work harder when we're talking to somebody. That's why we have to be extra friendly and come from a point of helping. That's why we always get this thing. A lot of top agents, they'll say, do good by people, and then the money comes after. It sounds like cliche, but in reality, it is. Because when you do well by a client, that client becomes your fan. And then when people go to their house, like, oh wow, this house, yeah, you need to call my realtor, you need to call Peter, you need to call John. He did a great job. Probably Peter and John suck, and it was just an easy deal. And the attorney did all the work. But at the end of the day, John is amazing because it was John. And staying in contact, doing events, he does something that I'm stealing from him, and I hope he doesn't get mad. But I saw him giving away pie last year in Thanksgiving, right? You did pie.
We used to do a pot pie for Thanksgiving for the morning after.
Oh no, I was here. You
Yeah.
did a crazy decor. I remember it was a table in the middle. You did a really nice decoration in here, right?
Yeah.
So those events also they work. The thing is that people underestimate from where business comes from. And I think that's the biggest problem. People think that cold calling, because it's so difficult, so hard to achieve, that's the goal. That's the way to go. There's other people that they just focus on their spheres of influence. When we took Bold together, there was a math that they did on your database. In my database, the people that I had in my database, if I would have worked my database, it said that I would have made $474,000 more in commission if I would have worked my database. And I look at that number, I'm like, 400, that's a big number. And then after that, I was like, all right, let's implement the DTD2, calling our people. And incredibly, I've made so much money this year just by talking to the people that I sold this gentleman a house, and he owned another house. And I just call them, and like when the COVID was coming out, I said that I was just calling to check up on my clients to see how they were doing, because COVID was a tough time, and to see if we can help in any way. Can I help them? Probably not. Probably their problems are bigger than what I can do, but just telling somebody, can I help you? It gives them a feeling of, I have somebody, and people started referring people to me, hey, I want to sell my house. It works, but it's all about the consistency. For example, I go to radio station every Monday and every Wednesday. Not every Monday I want to be there. Sometimes I'm tired and I don't want to do it. But every time I walk out of there, I walk out with 3 to 4, 5 good leads. Most of them are listings. So consistency. If you're gonna call all the time. But you need to be religious about that. Like 8 or 11. Your mom calls you, your girlfriend calls you. It's not girlfriend time. That's why I call it having sex when we're lead generating. Because you don't do anything else. You're not talking to anybody or searching internet. No, you're focused. You're doing what you gotta be doing. So distraction. There's a book called The One Thing. You guys went through it?
Mhm.
Have you read that book? That is an amazing book. Amazing book. When I was reading it, when I finished reading it, I came to the office and I was like, all right, let me turn off my email, my cell phone, like all distraction. I bought this little sign I put at the door to not disturb. Like I try to set myself up, and I talk to my team and I say, hey, from this time to this time, I'm gonna be lead generating. Call me or meet me or meet me after 11, just so I can take the time and lead gen. And I saw the change, the drastic change. Last year I saw 77. This year we're gonna end up with 150. Like I didn't know my numbers, and he knew my number. He told me the other day, oh, $80 million in volume. I'm like, I think he's wrong. And when I went and checked, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, that's where we're going. And the difference was obviously more people, but tighten up the lead gen, like doing more lead gen. And the game is lead gen. It's all about lead generation and follow up. And you don't do anything calling somebody. Oh yeah, I want to sell my house, but I'm not ready today. Call me tomorrow. You didn't call them tomorrow. I said somebody else is going to follow up. I've called a ton of people. Yeah, I sold my house already, buddy. I was calling other people. That's why I don't feel bad about it, because I was on the phone. I just have 8 hours a day, supposedly, to 8 to 12 hours a day to make a call. You're supposed to legally call from 8 to 8. That's legal. Any call outside of that, you can get fined with $42,000, which just sucks. Questions? Anything you want me to cover? No? All right, so I wanted to talk about something interesting then, so we can call it a day. So lead gen, you guys know that internet has changed the way the lead gen gets done. I don't know if you guys are running Facebook ads through command. I don't know if you noticed that the ads are low. They're not coming in.
Yeah.
You guys notice
Yeah,
that?
we haven't been getting many.
Yeah.
Leads on things like back at the beginning of this year, we were getting 30 plus hits.
Mhm.
And the last
A
two
decent mix,
brands,
Yeah, nothing now. You know why is that?
like 6 or 8.
So iOS has a new update. So have you ever said, oh, I would like some new boots? You open your phone and it's full of ads for new boots because they listen to you, right? So they came out with a few new updates and stuff that we can like talk about for days. But the problem is that things change, right? Because Facebook noticed that people are making a lot of money from these leads. We make more money with what Facebook makes out of us if we work those leads correctly. So that is down. The Google ads are down. The YouTube ads are down. So if you think about it, what is working right now? If you see the agents that are like old school, like Jen Hamilton, none of that stuff affects them. She sticks to old school. She does newspaper, flyers, and she's freaking awesome. And
Funeral homes.
yeah, and funeral homes.
Funeral homes.
Yeah, and she has Look at her face, you know, she's like, okay.
She
Well,
stalks, she stalks weights. Yeah.
probate, you know, that person probably had a few properties and died, they're gonna need to sell those properties. So technology is not reliable. Facebook was down the other day, Facebook, Instagram, and I'll tell you, my business, I was able to grow it fast because of social media. And free, like I wasn't even paying. I started paying after I started getting a few commission checks. But at the beginning, it was just creating flyers and posting it, sending it to everybody. So if you want to focus on what should be your main focus, it needs to be essential. Following up with your spheres, mailers, cold call, door knock. Online should become secondary, even though that online in today's state is primary, where you're getting, like all the buyers and all the sellers are online looking for there. But if you keep it essential, we can have a internet crash. That can happen, right? And your business will still be running.
Do you have a reason or an explanation as to why, like you said, your business grew because of social media, and then all of a sudden, the ads just weren't coming in? Do you have an explanation?
They
why?
changed the algorithm. So they changed the way it works.
Okay,
So they were like, hey, this is too easy, let's change it.
but it was working, okay.
It was working. It was working okay. You saw, you heard the numbers, 30, and now if you get, so you know what you have to do? You have to, the interest word that you were using, we have to like reevaluate them.
Even I noticed on several different platforms, it's asking you if you want to be cross-tracked. And you can say no, and that will affect how you get captured. So if I say I don't want to be tracked across my media, then anything I look at or search on Google doesn't get tracked in my Facebook. And so that alone can decrease
Yeah, it has.
the exposure.
Yes. And then it's like a sweet and sour because us as individual, we're like, yeah, we don't want to be tracked. And then as realtors, we're like, let me look at
My business account, track, yes.
you. So that's why we need to focus a lot on essentials, because the internet, there's always going to be changing. There's always new stuff that are going to be coming out. Like I was looking into the Zillow thing, iBuyers. Like how so Zillow, this is what Zillow is doing. And Zillow is going to owners and saying, hey, a regular CMA on a property, let's call it 500,000, to use a number. And the property is actually 500,000. Any good realtor that goes is gonna value it at 500,000. Zillow will come and buy it off you for 500,000 and list it for 500,000. You're like, where's the catch? Why are they buying a property? They're not putting improvements or anything. They're selling it, but they're gonna have closing costs to buy, closing costs to sell. Why are they doing it? Right? Like, where's the catch? So you know what they're doing? They are cutting the throat of agents. So they're saying that if you sell with an agent, you're gonna have to pay about 9%, which we know is not true. And they say that if you sell with them, you're only gonna spend 5%, which with an agent is for 5%, 5, 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, whatever you negotiate with agent. So basically, they just cut in the agent. So they're collecting the agent's commission and putting it back on the market. Now they have so much money that they can take those hits.
The small incremental.
Yeah, small, and they're making a little bit of money because at 5%, let's say $1 million home, that's $50,000 that they make right on the house. They buy this property cash, so they don't have no down payment or anything. They just come in and boom, cash. They're gonna have that cash there for a month or two, 45 days, 60 days. They're gonna take their cash out. So in reality, they're banking $50,000. And that's what they're doing. They're basically taking us out of circulation. And that's why when I see agents spending money in Zillow, like there's agents that spend like about $10,000 to $11,000 a month in Realtor.com. And that's a lot of money. And they're just basically feeding the dragon that is gonna eat you. Because eventually they're gonna, the good thing is that all of us here, that is not gonna kill us. Might affect our kids, kids, stuff like that. But our generation still likes the face-to-face. Still don't trust stuff online because there's so many scams. So I don't think that we should be worried. Whoever comes after us should be. Because like wholesaling, they just got new laws for wholesaling. So those big wholesalers right now, they're against the wall. They're gonna have to get a license and start selling real estate. If not, they're gonna get out of circulation. So a lot of laws are changing that are going to affect us in the long run. But sticking to essentials and lead generation is gonna at least secure our income, one way or another. Any other questions? All right. Friends on 3? All right. Thank you for coming, guys. So you guys know that we're doing the last one. It's gonna be from like 4 to 7. There's gonna be a party, beers, pizza, and we're gonna be lead generating from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. while we eat, drink, have fun, make money. And if you guys can come, there's a lot of people coming. So
When's that next one? Is that?
me have it here in my notas. All right, November 18 from 4 to 7, lead generation marathon, pizza and drinks. Bring your laptop and headsets. It's about to get funky. All right.